pull fade. A ball that starts left and then comes back to the target. Well, we covered that one a little bit when we talked about the straight fade. A pull fade, I would have to have the club face pointing left of the target, the club path left of the target, but I would have to have this line here, this purple line, to the right of the path, but to the left of the target. So I've got a, I'll scoot this over so you can see a little better. Here's the target line. Hopefully you can see that this blue line here is to the left of that, and then this path is more left than that. So this would be a ball that would start along this line and then curve to the right. This would be your pull fade. For any ball that we want to land, on this target, if I can get the club face half the difference between the path and the target, I get a ball that's going to land on the target. For example, if, let's say, for calculation purposes, this path is 10 degrees to the left. It's probably more than that, but for whatever reason, we're going to use that. If I had a face angle that was 5 degrees to the left, half of that, I would get a pull fade that would land at this target. Anything between 5 and 10, if I had 6, 7, 8, or 9, those would all land left of this target, inside of that. They would land between my pull and the target. If I get this, this line on the other side of half, 2, 3, 4, 1, that ball is going to cross the target. That is going to go beyond, hopefully, what I'm looking to do. Obviously, the same thing is true on the opposite side. If I'm looking for a push draw, I've got to get the face pointing to the right of the target, and the path has to be more to the right than the face. Same relationship holds. If I have 10 degrees to the right path and 5 degrees to the right face, I get a push draw that's going to land on the target. So hopefully you can see that on here, that this path is going well right. This blue line, it's a little harder to see on this yellow side, the draw side, is between the path and the target line. So this ball is going to start to the right and then curve back toward the target. Obviously where this gets tricky, like we talked about last time, is this angle of attack part. And I want to make this a little bit more clear this time. You may not be able to see from the camera, but when I have the hula hoop resting on the table on the target, I'm calling that a level hit. If I start to push this hula hoop below the level of the table, where it first crosses the table, the target line, is what I've been using for the angle of attack. Clearly the lowest point is down here, where it's crossing the ground. For this display is up here. The club is going down that amount, plus it's going to the right that amount, which you can clearly see like I talked about last time. So here's a case, I've already got, even though I have a swing plane that is perfectly parallel to the target, when I actually strike the ball, the path at that time is going down and to the right. That's why, and hopefully this will help you understand, why you can't hit a straight ball at the target with a centered hit, swinging perfectly on plane, if you're hitting down on the ball. Because the path, this bottom vector part, is not pointed at the target. That's pretty clear. This is pointed to the right. Best I'm going to do from here is going to be some kind of push draw that lands on the target. I have got to get the face halfway the distance between this bottom vector direction and the target to give myself the push draw that I'm looking for. And again, just the other way, if I'm hitting up on the ball, I wouldn't want to have this below the table level because I don't want to go into the ground and then come back out again. I have to kind of imagine that the ball is being struck somewhere above the table, and then I get obviously my direction to the left and up. So if I wanted to get a more straighter direction out of this thing, you can see I've got to slowly start to tilt this thing to the right to get my straight shot. We talked about that last time. This downward part, is really critical to understand, because depending on how much you do it, and I'm sure you can kind of see from the camera that, the more down I get, the more and more and more and more to the right, this starts to point. As I get closer and closer to level, I'm looking for tangent to where it hits the table, then I can get shots right on the target line. But that just doesn't ever happen. So I hope that helps clear up some things as far as how do I create a pull fade, a push hook, or push draw, whatever you want to call it. And I hope this is more clear in terms of how this angle of attack really affects the bottom vector of the D-plane. Because it's this piece, this bottom vector part, that I think confuses the most people. And hopefully this picture, of the swing going down into the ground and changing the direction the swing is moving at because of that is more clear with this picture. Once again, if you have questions, you can check out my forum at johngrahamgolf.com. I also have a blog. You can just add a /blog on there. And please leave a comment on the blog or join the forum and leave questions there. I'll post this up again on YouTube. You can leave comments there as well. Thank you.